Hello everyone, Colin Canad here for WoodWorkWeb. Today we've got a great little build today. We're carrying on with the gardening summer theme, or at least the spring theme, and today we're going to make this little plant stand. This is perfect for going on a patio or a sun deck, for putting your spring or summer flowers on. Easy to water, lovely to look at, and of course you could put other things on it as well. Today we're going to be using just some wood that we have around the shop that we weren't able to use for other things, because this little stand ultimately is going to get painted, I understand. So we're just going to use some of the wood that we have laying around, and we'll put it together. Stick around and see how we make this great little summer plant stand. Now, because this build is going to get painted at some time or another, I'm going to use some repurposed wood that I've had laying around here. So some of it will be new, but all of it are bits and pieces that I've had laying around. So we're going to start off by cutting the 24-inch. And remember, we always start off, even for building a planter like this, we always square off one side before we start cutting. Now I'm going to cut the 12-inch pieces. Okay, I've set the blade so that it's about a half tooth above the material, and I've set the distance so that it's equivalent to these 2x2s, and all we need to do now is start running all our material through it. All the legs that we've cut and the upper, I guess the upper support, are here. So there's the bottom. You're looking at the bottom there. These are the two backs, these are the two fronts, and these are the middle uprights. Now off camera, because we knew that we were cutting these 24 inches long, I just cut a couple of boards that we can use as markers, because now what we need to do is we need to cut some rivets in this area on both of these. And you can see that I've got the square down here so that we line everything up nicely. But all I need to do now is to lay this wood down over top, and just I can see from where I am, it's just the top of these two legs. And what I want to do now is measure to make sure, because this will be 12 inches. I just need to make sure that this is 12 inches on this side, and it's just a little bit off. Run them both down just a bit. There we go. Now, what I need to do now, and all I need to do, is to mark this, and up here, and when I take this off, these are the areas here that, whoops, I didn't mark one here. So these are the areas that I need to cut out, right there, and I'm marking them all so that I know which ones need to come out. And all I need to do now is figure out from this, and I can do it quite simply with this. I'll use this, whoops, I broke my lead. There's that, and the bottom was right there, so I can take my measure from there, and there's exactly what I need to cut out. And I need to cut that out of here, and here, and here and here, and then these will just slide right in there and we can tack them in. Now we're going to go back to the table saw to do this, and I could use my dado set to cut these out, but you know what, I'm just going to use the blade that I have in it. I'm actually going to put my combination blade in, and I'll make these the initial cuts first, and then we'll just make multiple cuts up and down there, and we'll just clean it out with the chisel. It won't take long at all. Okay, we're back at the table saw, and I've set my blade height according to how thick the wood is that I'm going to be using on the cross members. I've taken all of my pieces and marked the edge on your side so you can see, and on my side, and all I'm going to do is run them through the saw, and I'm going to do one or two so that you can see. I'm not going to do all of them so that you can watch. I'm not going to make you sit through all of that, but just so you get an idea how this works. So there's all our pieces, and what I forgot to mention, and I've done off camera, remember we cut here and here and here, but there's also a bar going across the top up here, and I forgot to mention that we needed to do that. So I've gone ahead off camera and cut those as well, and now we just need to clean these out. And again, I'm not going to make you sit through all of these while I do that, but just to give you an idea of how quick and simple it is to clean these out. And now we'll take my chisel, and it doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be smooth enough that it's going to fit the wood that we need to put in there without rocking. There, and you see, that's how quick it is. I'm cutting the cross pieces off now that will go across, and they're 12 inches wide or 12 inches long, but you can see out behind me that I've got quite a long board, and I can't put a stop on this side because there's not enough fence here, so I'm just going to cut them one at a time. I'll cut the first one, and then I'll just use it to mark subsequent ones. Well, we've cut all of the pieces that we need to put this together now, and there's a few things I could do. I could use some screws, some outdoor screws to put this together. I've put these together with galvanized nails, but today I'm going to be using my Tackwise 16 gauge pinner for this with some nice galvanized pins, and I think it's going to hold it just fine. I may need to put some screws in a couple of the end pieces, but I'm going to use this tacker because it's quick and easy. And I don't get to use this tacker very often. I love this thing. That's good. There, we just need to tack those. And we'll set up the top. I'll put some more tacks in later on as we go along. So to make the other side, the opposite side, all I'm doing is flipping it over and putting the legs and all the cross members over top the first one that I made, and then I know that it's going to be all equal. Well, the little plant stand's coming together nicely. I just need to put the cross members on, the ones that I cut off the long board, and they'll go in there like that. But what I need to do, first of all, I need to make sure that I'm perpendicular here. Now the other thing I'm going to need to do is to make sure that it's square this way. There we go. Now I also have some cross member pieces that I'm going to put in here. For stability. Imagine it painted up white. It'll look gorgeous out on a patio or a sun deck. What a great way to display your summer flowers, maybe some vegetables, tomato plants or something, potted plants growing out of it. Lots of things that you could do. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, we ask you to do that. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. I'm Colin Canet for WoodWorkWeb. Thanks for joining us.